So the spring housing market heating up, but the latest data still looks pretty bleak. We've got some new figures from the National Association of Realtors showing that existing home sales fell 3.6% from February going into March. Lack of inventory pushing the median existing home price to a record $408,800 nationally. If you're a buyer, hey, congratulations. And the average on a 30-year fixed rate mortgage, the most popular in this country, it is still sitting above 6.2% about right now. So my next guest says that buyers are starting to embrace the reality that these rates are basically here to stay. Joining me now is Bess Freedman. She's the CEO of Brown Harris Stevens. Great to see you.
So great to see you, Cheryl.
So let's talk about the national picture here, because we're still in a holding pattern right now, if you will. What are you seeing out there?
Well, I think, as you alluded to, I think in the last segment, a lot of sellers still have this very low rate, so they're not willing to sell. And we still need about 5 million homes in the marketplace. There's a real lack of supply, just nationally. And so buyers and sellers have sort of been on the sidelines. We're seeing a little bit more action, but rates are probably gonna stay around, I think, 6%. Your guest before talked about going down to 3%. I don't see what the catalyst for something like that is.
But how do you, if you're a buyer, you're waiting for rates, you were waiting for rates to go below 6%. You're saying now they're accepting it, they're not going to wait any longer. But what about the price pressure on the other side of this? I mean, we are seeing some more movement in the market this spring. I mean, it's better than it was last year.
I think it's going to be slow and steady. And look, buyers are there to see opportunities. When they see something that looks good, they're going to negotiate. They'll put an offer in if it's the right home. It won't matter so much the rate if they can afford it. So I think people have sort of accepted that 6% is the new rate.
Well, starts did jump to a 13-month high in March. You say that obviously inventory is still a big challenge. Is inventory an issue in certain cities and not in others? Like, where are we seeing more movement right now?
Well, so New York City, for example, we have ample inventory. It's steady, and there's good sort of supply and demand.
Okay.
But I will say this, that I'm sure you've heard about the recent potential pied-a-terre tax.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about that, yeah.
So, that's scaring the market a little bit. New York City is very discretionary, and we have buyers, agents have come into my office and talked to me about it. The buyers are sort of on the sidelines right now. They're worried about this tax and what it would mean. It would be every year, what the amount would be. I mean, Vancouver passed a tax like this, and the luxury market has plummeted there. 17% it went down. And if Governor Hochul wants people to come back from Florida, this is the worst thing to do. People are not going to come back for this.
Well, to be clear, let our viewers know, you specialize in New York, and then also in Florida, that's that luxury market. So let's talk about this, because with this pied-a-terre tax, I mean, this is going to affect maybe about 13,000 residences in New York City, if it's valued at $5 million or more. And the person that owns it is not a permanent resident or
they're not a
full-time. Understood. So, but how does it? But I would think though that politically, that this is probably going to head through.
I think so. I mean, look, it's a feel-good tax, for the governor and for the mayor, and they need to get their sort of budget in order.
Right.
But they attempted to pass this. Governor Cuomo at the time talked about this when he was the governor, and they didn't pass it because it's hard to administer, and it's also hard to identify who these people are and how much money would really raise. We have questions about it being $500 million. I don't think it would raise anywhere near that. Plus, the mansion and transfer tax every year brings in about over $1 billion. So what's going to happen to that if people aren't buying and selling?
What do you make of Ken Griffin from Citadel? He actually today meeting with Hochul. We know that. We don't know. We haven't heard anything about the meeting, and maybe it hasn't happened today. But at the same time, I mean, that is somebody that's a very powerful voice. He is about to build a multi-billion-dollar tower. He may say, "I'm walking away."
Yeah, I don't understand this politics. Look, I don't care what flag you wave.
Yeah.
We need good policies. And people who are aspirational, like a Ken Griffin, we shouldn't mock. I think it was very mature of the mayor to sort of make, jokes about it or about what he's achieved. That's aspirational. New Yorkers love that. And so he's also donated millions to Sloan Kettering. He's created jobs.
Yes.
He's a person we want in New York City.
Yes.
And so I think the job of leadership leadership in politics is to unite people, not divide the haves and the have-nots. We want people to come together.
Well, that's the mayor of New York City, which is a whole nother story. But let me stay with this really quick, because our own Grady Trimble today has been reporting on this shift to with commercial real estate. Basically, in major cities, whether it's Chicago or New York, there's this move now to take these office buildings, which many of them have been vacated since the pandemic, shift them into apartments. It's not an easy thing to do with construction projects like this, but it is being done. What do you think?
There is some of that happening. I mean, Mayor Adams, when he was the mayor, was advocating for this.
Yeah.
And there's a push for that in New York, and some of those conversions are happening. It's harder to do because of the core and how commercial is built and light and so many different things. But where we can, we definitely should push for that.
Well, and also, too, I think at the end of the day, if you've got all this empty space, I realize you're going to have to, knock out walls and make windows and plumbing and things like that. But the end result could be a new imagined urban environment, for, it's 10 years out, but you could have a residential New York City, you could have a residential Chicago.
We need more supply. I mean, that's clear. We need policies that get us more supply into the market. So anything like this would be good. It's just harder to do than what people say.
Well, also, it brings in restaurants and dry cleaners and grocery stores.
Exactly.
And all the things that you want to have.
Which we need.
In a successful city, Bess.
Like New York,
Yeah,
for
yeah.
sure.
Always great to talk to you, Bess.
You too, Cheryl. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for being in. All right.